text has captivated the imaginations of scholars and seekers of forbidden knowledge alike in the shadowy corridors of time. Its pages depict the story of darkness, salvation, and an uncomfortable agreement with the unknown. The Codex Gigas lurks in the shadow, its mysteries calling. Are you prepared to face the Devil's Bible? Welcome, all my creepy little weirdos. You have found yourself in a place for the unknown and unexplained. My name is Christina, and I'll be your tour guide through the realms of mystery, experiences with the paranormal, and the genuinely strange. This is Horror, History, and Haunting. A long time ago, in a distant past of Latin literature, there was a book that became known as the Codex Gigas, or the Giant Book, measuring an astounding 36 inches in height, 20 inches of width, and over 9 inches in thickness. This enormous book weighed a whopping 165 pounds, including the elaborate leather and the metal banding. The massive book, when opened, revealed a world of painstaking craftsmanship and steadfast attention to detail. The whole of the Latin Bible was housed within the enormous Codex Gigas, along with the historical narratives of Josephus, antiquities of the Jews, the wisdom of Isidore of Seville in his Encyclopedia Ethnologia, and the chronicles of Cosmas of Prague and his Chronicle of Bohemia. However, Codex Gigas was more than just a collection of common information. It also included riddles and secrets that went beyond the everyday. Its text included accounts of exorcism procedures, magical formulas, and a meticulously constructed calendar that indicated the passing of time. The wonders of the Codex Gigas draws readers in with its striking colors and fine details. It was simply a work of art. Its pages had an enticing attraction due to their symphony of vibrant pictures, exact borders, and highly stylized topography. But even the best informed historians were baffled by the riddles surrounding the manuscript's origins. The Codex Gigas was a puzzle because of its immense size and meticulous attention to detail. There were no noticeable differences in the writing's appearance or caliber. Experts debated the mystery in the quiet corridors of academic study, coming to the unexpected conclusion that the Codex Gigas was the unique creation of a single scribe, which implied that the inventor completed this enormous effort in an exceptionally short amount of time. The production of this massive document, with all of its minute details and consistent brilliance, would have required more than 5 years of unrelenting work, experts would say. In a more realistic world, the work required would have taken more than 25 years to complete. And yet, astonishingly, there are no indications of age or stylistic or technique changes in the scribe's work. The Codex Gigas voyage started inside the hallowed confines of the Benedictine monastery in Palazic, Bohemia, I hope I pronounced that right, around the beginning of the 13th century. It was there in the silence that the book began to take shape. It later made its way into Rudolf II's prestigious Imperial Library in Prague. However, the document was put to the test in 1948 during the turbulent 30 Years' War, when the Swedish army took control of the entire Royal Library collection. The Codex Gigas began a new chapter during the conflict and made its way to Stockholm's National Library of Sweden. The giant book found its immortal home there, in the serene halls of knowledge, serving as a silent defender of wisdom and the mysteries contained inside its timeless pages. A terrifying story took place inside the hollow walls of the monastery when we traveled back in time to the 13th century, in the center of Bohemia. There, a monk named Herman broke the purity of his vows and sealed his own doom by committing an unforgivable sin. His treachery resulted in his immurement, a dreadful punishment that meant he would be shut up alive behind one of the walls in the astery. An astery, according to Google, is a plain chamber in which the monk lived, reflecting the strict danger of his holy vows. In his bare dwelling, the monk practiced the austere and stern disciplines of prayer, fasting, and chanting. The monk became desperate as the last block hung in midair, ensuring Herman's doom. He pleaded with the abbot for forgiveness and a chance at redemption. A bold agreement was reached, and Herman was faced with an enormous task. He was given a single night to complete the enormous task of writing a book that contained all of human knowledge. With time running out, Herman felt like he had no other choice but to bargain his life for his soul. He made a desperate pledge to give his soul to the devil in exchange for finishing the enormous book. In the morning, Herman showed the abbot the Codex Gigas. His life was saved, and the threat of abduction was defeated. The monk's identity, Hermanus Inclusus, was disclosed by a mysterious signature found among the pages of the Codex Gigas. This particular element gave the legend an additional dimension, supporting and contradicting the amazing story. Hermanus, the monk's given name in Latin, was rendered as hermit. However, the word inclusive had two meanings. It denoted both voluntary seclusion and punishment. This subtle translation gave rise to another theory, according to which the monk devoted his life to creating a work of art that would serve as a memorial of his atonement while living in voluntary exclusion. As a result, the Codex Gigas evolved from a book into a living record of the monk's agreement, preserving his request for forgiveness throughout history. Subtle hints within the elaborate tapestry of the Codex Gigas suggested that the author may have been haunted by guilt. The idea of the monk's redemption was supported by ancient medieval beliefs that copying sacred writings may atone for transgressions. A deep confession, a long list of transgressions exposed, was revealed among the old papers. Located in a prominent position just in front of the magnificent painting of heaven, this passage stood out from the others in the Codex Gigas. It took up 5 pages, all written in large capital letters, with the monks pleading for forgiveness, eloquently telling each sin in great detail. As you turned the pages, you saw an even more stunning tableau, a large-scale depiction of heaven with a full-page picture of the devil himself. The devil was depicted as having 2 tongues, scarlet horns, and only an ermine loincloth, a piece of clothing that was only worn by kings and queens at the time. The Devil's Bible was another name given to the Codex Gigas, by virtue of this unusual image and the unusual bargain that was struck. The terrifying image of the devil is next to a picture of heaven from the Codex Gigas. It is a picture of a heaven with several rows of white structures between 2 huge towers. However, there is an unnerving absence, no evidence of life. That seems to overshadow the calm of this wonderful view. Without providing any context, the author depicted paradise as a place completely devoid of living things. With this sinister layout, this double-page spread symbolized the essence of good and evil coexisting, creating a visual contrast that runs throughout the work. These illuminations are noteworthy since they are the only full-page illustrations found in the whole Codex Gigas. The following sections explore a field of magical literature describing sorcerous spells and demonic incantations meant for use in exorcism ceremonies. These powerful spells were designed to ward off disease and banish hallucinations altogether. Although the author's talent is obvious, no more works attributed to this enigmatic character have ever been found. With its pages containing the secrets of both the divine and the hellish within its ancient folds, the Codex Gigas stands as a lone witness to the genius and mystique of a singular intellect. The curse of the Devil's Bible is a chilling legend, as misfortune seems to follow the Codex Gigas as it travels through time. The very Benedictine abbey in Bohemia that gave rise to this medieval book was in financial distress in 1477. The monks were forced to part with their most treasured possession, which was the Codex Gigas. After that, the text found a new home inside the sacred walls of the Brivnov Benedictine monastery. But the shadow of bad luck was quite real. The violent Hussite revolution quickly claimed the Bohemia monastery, shrouding the holy beginnings of the Codex Gigas. The medieval manuscript was kept hidden in the Brivnov for decades until 1593. The monks made the grave mistake of lending this priceless book to Holy Roman Emperor Rudolph II. Sadly, the Codex Gigas never made it back to the monastery. The emperor's reign was marred by obsession and paranoia as a result of the obsessive preoccupation with the text. His family finally planned his downfall, concerned about his declining mental health. The 30 Years' War began 6 years after the death of the emperor. The emperor's library collection was taken over by the Swedish army during the ensuing chaos, and they made off with several treasures, including the Codex Gigas. Thus, the text began a new chapter in its enigmatic voyage, one that would always be tied to the tides of history. A disastrous blaze tore through Stockholm's royal fortress in 1697, illuminating the priceless items inside with a threatening glare. Seeing that the royal library was about to catch fire, the chief librarians gave his workers an order to save as many valuable books as they could. The men were compelled to throw books out of the window in order to escape when they realized that there was a threat. It is said in the middle of the mayhem, the massive Codex Gigas, weighing at 165 pounds, soared through the air out the window. Rumors circulate that 10 pages were inexplicably torn from the binding during the thrilling flight. Where these mysterious pages went to is still a mystery to this day. On the original notion, that is not without controversy. Many activists claim that the missing portion was intentionally torn rather than the result of the fall. To further complicate the puzzle, academics surmise that the information included in these absent pages may include the regulation that regulated the Benedictine abbey located in Bohemia. Even with the large size of the manuscript's pages, it is thought improbable that the monastery's regulations could fill all 10 pages. As the plot deepens, more questions and solutions are brought forward. The Codex Gigas is still a mysterious object with a foreboding aura. With its countless riddles, the medieval manuscript serves as a quiet monument to the mysterious that might always remain beyond our comprehension. So what do you think about the Codex Gigas? Is it really the devil's Bible? I read every comment, so please comment below and contribute your own theories. As always, thank you for watching, good night, and sweet dreams. Bye-bye.